Good morning, dears. By the time that you are watching this, the sun will have entered Aries and exited Pisces, and depending on when I upload this, Mercury will have stationed direct. Before I jump into this little reading, I just want to say I'm so grateful for Mercury retrogrades. I think that they're a great time for us to be humbled and remember that things take longer than we might expect them to. And so then when Mercury stations direct and things start to feel like they're more going a pace that we expected to, we can approach it with greater patience and understanding and compassion. And sometimes I wonder if things really end up moving faster because Mercury is direct, or if we just learn that we kind of control time when we slow down and ground ourselves and are present and patient and strike that balance between acting and waiting for messages to come back, and also being empathetic, being compassionate when things don't quite, sometimes a message doesn't come back to you because other people have other things going on in their life. And sometimes you're not able to get a message off because you have other things going on in your life. So anyways, all that to say, excited for Mercury to station direct, but I've been very grateful for this Mercury retrograde. And I am so thrilled for spring. I have a lot of messages that I would like to share before this reading, but I think that they might come out during the reading, and I don't want to get ahead of myself or muddy the messages, because if there's anything that this cycle can show us, it is to be okay with the constant process of clearing out and welcoming in new space for creativity and creating a life that is more truly aligned to you. I'm going to take some water. My voice is starting to feel scratchy. You might be able to hear it, but alright, all of that aside, I don't want to start with this one yet. We're just going to let things flow and have fun with it. Another lesson from Pisces season. So I'm starting with the Ethereal Visions deck. And I think instead of listing out all the decks as I use them, I'll just leave a link in the description for it, so you can check out all the decks I use if you are so interested. Or you can leave a comment asking me which decks I use. I always love interacting with people. Okay, so first things first. Is there one card that symbolizes, that encapsulates the energy, the message for this community? One wanted to come out, but it didn't. I feel this pressure in my chest. Things feel heavy, and it feels like a weight that I am placing on myself. So that could be relevant. There could be a sense of heaviness, but it is completely within your power to release it, and you might be aware that it is completely within your power to release it, but it goes back ages, and so you might not exactly know how to utilize that power, or it might take a little bit more time than you would like. Let's see, but for right now I'm going to let that thought go. One card to ground this reading. A card that represents the collective. That was cool. Okay. The Five of Wands. Fascinating. Let's see if you can see that. So the Five of Wands talks about connections with others, but it's like building something, working together to create something, but there's a lot of conflict going on, and there can be bickering, miscommunication. I'm not exactly getting the energy exactly how I mean to say it, but it can also represent siblings. It, like, to me, it encapsulates the energy of siblings. You know, there's you're a part of a unit, but there's often a lot of difficult, challenging dynamics at play, because everybody has their own wants and needs, and everybody wants to get those needs met. And so sometimes we can idealize coming together into groups to be this beautiful, blissful thing where, you know, community is nice. It's a basic human need. But when we idealize what a community looks like, and everybody else idealizes what a community looks like, we might not always be clear on that same vision, that same ideal, that same image. And when that happens, and we're all trying to do our best to create that community, that space, then it can create conflict, which can really impact people deeply. I just have my mic. Which can really impact people deeply, because you know that you're trying to do the very best that you feel capable to do. And chances are everybody else is also trying to do the very best that they are trying to do. Anyways, let's see. There's more to say about that. But ooh, okay, so some cards want to come out to clarify that. We have the Four of Swords, the King of Cups in reverse, and the Tower in reverse. All right. I'm hearing unmasking. This is specific, but not worth ruling out. A lot of you might be going through this process of literally unmasking. If you are neurodivergent and you have learned to mask for a really long time within family, within friends, within your community, you might be unmasking, and there could be this fear that it is leading to conflict, and you might even feel like you're in a state of, I don't know how to process my emotions. And sitting with that weight of not knowing how to do something that maybe you feel like as a child you should have learned how to do can be very distressful, because there's this expectation on adults to know how to process everything and set the example, to be that King of Cups. But this is like the end, like you're aware. You might not be perfect, but you are aware and open to change. And you can assert your needs. You can assert yourself. You can live truly, authentically to yourself and still be open to change. That's like ding. Oh, now my ear is ringing. One of the messages that I got before doing this reading that is like, it's gonna come out at some time. I just got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So this is like a major release of something that was, I can just feel all these, like maybe you've had back issues, like a lot of back pain. But I can just feel that this is leaving you. And it's because you're letting go of so much. Okay, let's get some clarity on what it is that you are letting go of. I feel called to this deck. While I'm at it, I just want to say how much I adore the tarot community. They are great. I have consumed tarot YouTube videos since I was a wee child. Whoop. And yeah, I don't know. I might just make a video at some point talking about my favorite tarot creators and lifting them up because they're beautiful. Okay, so what are you letting go of? We have the Ten of Swords again. And because this deck is, they're all flowers, and they all have like historical, the swords have weapons, the coins have different forms of currency, etc., etc. I'm going to reference the guidebook because I think that there's some deeper symbolism that can be extracted. Okay, so we have, I don't remember if this came out reversed or not, so maybe this card doesn't matter. We have the Five of Coins, the King of Coins, and the Three of Coins. Alright, I'm hearing you're letting go of the need for it's something to do with finances, because coins. Like, maybe you've been placing a lot of pressure on yourself to hit a certain number. Ooh, we have 3 and 5. March 5th could have been significant for you. Like, it could have been a big day where a lot of this you felt like was being released, or a lot of these things clicked for you. And so this new year, this cycle of Aries to Pisces season from 2026 to 2027 could be a continuation of those themes from that really started to set in on March 5th. Also, the eclipse. When that Virgo Pisces eclipse hit, there could have been like one thing that's kind of like a side quest to your other big thing that you realized on March 5th. I'm not sure if that's making sense, but that's how it's coming through. Anyways, going to refer to the guidebook now. And I can feel my energies getting like all excited. And while there is nothing wrong with excitement, I do want to ground. So what does the Ten of Swords have to say? I'm hearing don't speak unless you really want to, and say what you mean. I'll hold this up for you to see. So this is represented by the bluebells. In Greek mythology, these flowers grew from the spilled blood of Hyacinthus after the jealous Zephyrus called Apollo's discus to kill the boy. Ovid also wrote that the flower had the Greek sounds of grief written on those petals. The swords are the heir of Apollo. So any of those divine figures for you could be significant this year. Apollo, for some reason, is standing out. But what I got is that there's some kind of grief that you're letting go of. You're like recognizing we can move through grief without Like, we can recognize and appreciate grief for what it is without letting it consume us, without dwelling on it. Back to, you can recognize that you're not perfect and still show up as yourself. You can recognize that you have been wounded, and still show up as yourself. You are free. This weight, and there's this song by Dodie called Smart Girl. And actually that might be relevant because of the themes of comparison and the amount of weight that can place on a person. She says, "So there, guess the weight, it all comes from me." And then has this big crash out moment where she's like, she's aware that she is a smart girl. You're a smart girl, regardless of gender. But there, like, you also have the power to release this, and that even the awareness that you do have the power, even if you don't quite know how to utilize it yet, is freeing. Yeah, all of these coins, I'm going to take a brief look at them. I don't know how long I've been filming for. Oh, 4:44 on the timer as I said that. 444 could be really significant this year. I call in all these energies for myself, my highest self, this collective's highest self. I call in only the energies that are meant to see this, meant to hear this, and I pray that it brings them the medicinal properties they need at this very moment. Why am I having so much trouble finding the pentacles? Okay, here we go. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles. Despite being highly toxic. Oh, this is the hellebore? I think that's how you pronounce it. Despite being highly toxic, these flowers were thought to be a cure for madness in ancient Greece. They also have a reputation for having dark magical properties and are sacred to witches and goddesses alike. The coins are inscribed with symbols of Athena from Corinth, where there was a city known for its hellebores. And this did come out reverse. So there, in the guidebook, it says that can represent inner power being unlocked, which I do think is relevant to this reading. Yeah, whatever this power is that is in you is being unlocked, and maybe you fear that it is poisonous. Maybe you have feared that it will lead to your own suffering and others' suffering. I'm gonna explore this power later. Actually, no, I'm gonna explore this power now. What is this power? Please send me a message. What is this power that all of the has been? I'm feeling the Star card, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come out. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse. Both of these cards in reverse is like absolutely letting go of everything. Elisa Liu, I'm sure that you've heard her say, I connect with everything, but I'm not attached with anything. That's like how I live my life, or how I aspire to live my life, where my ideals are. And it's a wonderful, wonderful reminder. So this can be an awareness that you can let go of any material thing while still loving it. You can let go of emotions as well, while still recognizing their value. Seasons come and go, and because relationships come and go, and just because you are all right, just because you're at peace with the change, doesn't mean that you don't love it, that you don't love it while it lasts. And that's your power, is recognizing the constant changing and shifting of life and still loving it so much. I just feel like I keep wanting like more confirmation for this message. This message feels so clear on the inside, but because I don't have one card that symbolizes it, that encapsulates it, I feel like my message is invalid. And that could be the deeper theme here, is that you keep looking for outside validation. We keep looking for outside validation when really it's enough to know, to be at peace with your own truth. Even if like you don't know everything, you don't have the whole universe figured out, and you're aware of that, it's okay to know yourself and to assert yourself, to know what it is that you want, and to say that without constantly having to justify, without having to find all of these external citing sources. Like, it's as though you feel like you have to cite your sources for every single decision that you make. Girl, every experience that you have had has shaped you into this individual that you are. And it is great. It is so great to take time and reflect on who you are becoming, where you got your ideas from, to challenge yourself. But don't let it come at the cost of sharing your voice. Your voice was never bad. Yeah. The theme for myself in this collective, I am certain, is going to be truth for the span of Aries to Pisces from 2026 to 2027. Truth is going to be the big theme. From 2025 to 2026, it was trust. You've learned to trust. You've learned to recognize change and be at peace with that and trust the process. But there's a deeper level of trust that comes from practicing, play testing your voice against reality. Like, not that this is not reality, but this is a playground. And yes, it is that deep. But the depth is, it's a game. It's fun to swim in. And if it starts feeling like torture, you have the freedom to let go. There's a song by, I think, the Ava Brothers, that goes, tell the truth to yourself and the rest will fall in place. Also, K-pop Demon Hunters, that entire storyline could be very significant for you to watch. I want to make a whole video about that. I've started writing essays about that film. Let me know if you'd be interested. But yeah, it's so strange because this entire reading, it's like I already knew what the reading was going to be about. And the more cards that I pull, just feels like, they feel like confirmation, but it can almost be overwhelming receiving so many signs and symbols and still not starting. And that's really what you're clearing out. This attachment to receiving the yes. Before you just do it and let yourself express your beautiful, beautiful and bright self. I want to pull a card from the white light, or, ooh, actually first, I have this Seasons of the Witch Winter Oracle deck, and she got me through winter. So I'm hearing she didn't get you through winter. She was a tool, and you utilized her well because you are powerful. She's gorgeous. I just want one final message from her. Oh, that was so quick. Why, thank you. Sometimes things happen quicker than you realize. And yesterday I was talking about this. I love life so much that I'm so present that the moment feels like forever, and that I can really draw things out. Because although I love change and I love so many different experiences, the fact that I love it can make it hard to accept that it is momentary, that it is fleeting, because I feel like I must make something of it. And if you're here, I trust you relate to that, or that inspires something within you. We have another duplicate. It's the Three of Winter Pentacles. When I saw this, my first thought was taking down the decorations from the Christmas tree. I know that this card talks about coexisting with people. In this deck specifically, it talks about coexisting, where each individual is doing their own activity and just enjoying the presence of others. They're engaging in their joy, in their bliss, without pressure to do what other people's bliss and joy are. It feels like the answer to this conflict. And maybe you already knew this. I'm sure that you did. Maybe it's just a reminder that we need to hear. This same idealism for what the community should look like, whoever your social group should look like, if instead you just focus on being your own example and appreciating the light that others are bringing to the table, maybe it will lead to a more harmonious existence. You're all practicing being yourselves. We are all here collectively practicing being ourselves. And it's a beautiful process to be able to recognize, to continue your own practice of finding your joy and embodying that, and to be able to recognize the beauty of others on their individual path. Thank you for that message. Anything else from this deck? All right. We have the Nine of Winter Cups. It could be useful to speak your feelings to no one, but it's not no one. It's yourself. It's the room that you surround yourself by. It's the universe, nature. Your words are very powerful. They are ways of conducting gut sensations, emotions into material reality. It's like coming up and out of your mind, and you can see it right in front of you, and then move forward. And then thinking about the process of asserting yourself to others. If you are talking down about yourself, saying, oh, I am like not good at this, you might think that you're being honest because you don't feel like you are good at something. But if you truly want to be good at something, and what you're communicating to others is that you aren't good at it, you show them that that is your identity. So it's not to say, tell people that you are good at something when you don't truly feel good at an activity, like running, if you want to run a marathon. If you don't feel like you can just like run a marathon right now, don't go around telling other people that you want to, that you can, because that's not true. But instead of saying, I am not good at running, you could say, I want to run a marathon. I want to run a marathon. I am going to run a marathon. Or you don't even have to say that if it doesn't feel safe. You can say, I am going to run today. I'm going to run. I'm a runner. You're a runner now. Or you're an artist. And yeah, you might be at the beginning of your journey, whatever it is. Or you might not even be at the beginning of your journey. Is this collective at the beginning of their journey? Is this collective at the beginning of their journey? Woo! Okay, I don't think the deck wanted to answer that question because it threw out like half of the cards and I kept hearing, you already know the answer. So I'm going to let that be. I also just saw the Hermit in reverse. So again, asserting your truth, play testing what you have learned and self-reflected against reality. All right. I'm going to begin to clean up my little space and then pull a card from the White Light Oracle. What do we need to hear right now? This one felt like coming out. Again, we have the number 35. That's crazy. 35s and 4s. 3, 5, and 4. April could be super significant. April 4th, maybe. Whew. Or maybe somebody who is 35 for some of you. Someone who is 44. Alright, so we have the Pearl of Sharo. I don't know about you all, but I've been really feeling like wearing pearl adjacent jewelry recently. I'm not sure if I'd want authentic pearls, but we'll see. The number 17 could also be significant. I opened it up and found a card that I placed in here a while ago. Okay. I'm hearing the song Home by Cave Town, specifically the part that goes, are you tired of me yet? I'm a little sick right now, but I swear when I'm ready I will fly us out of here. So it's making me think that you might have a lot of this still concern that you've already said everything that you can say, which is not true. The fact that you desire to speak more is proof that, like, it is good enough for you to share your voice. And then also, just because you're not receiving, like, the compensation for it right now doesn't mean you never will. It doesn't mean that you need to for it to be valuable regardless. And on top of that, no opportunity will come to you until you are ready for it. No opportunity will leave you until you are ready to let go of it. And you know this. You know this, and you're beginning to embody it. Okay, so 35. Pearl of Shadow. Taking responsibility for your experiences empowers you. Before I get deeper into this, let's just take a deep breath together, because I feel like this has been a lot, and if you're still here, we need it. So you can place your hand on your heart if you feel so called to. Just pause for a moment. Into the belly. And out. Thank you for doing that. Taking responsibility for your experiences empowers you. You are going to resolve an issue through spiritual inspiration and higher guidance. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. That which has brought darkness into your world shall submit to the light and be transformed. Have courage and commitment to your awakening, for you are a precious being. Sorry, my throat just clogged up. And can go far on the spiritual path this lifetime. Sharo is the Tibetan word meaning to rise or manifest and shine with radiant spiritual light. Sharo is the outcome of sacred alchemy. It is the manifestation of the pearl beyond price. Created in the depths of the ocean, hidden away in a clamshell away from prying eyes, this pearl symbolizes a beautiful blessing of unexpected grace. It began when an irritant caused the formation of a luminescent coating. The healing response to that initial intrusion resulted in an organic creation of inestimable beauty, value, and uniqueness, so this pearl can be a sacred catalyst. To arise spiritually, manifesting one's own priceless soul pearl, we are required to respond to an initially unwanted situation in such a way that our soul light and power is increased as a result. This soul alchemy evokes the inner pearl of radiant being. Such spiritual wisdom cannot be bought or sold, controlled nor exploited. It is perfect, nourishing grace, always free and always radiant with light. It is the inspirational triumph of creativity and healing. In the inner work of self-transformation, we take that which appears negative and utilize it to increase our goodness. However, we need to take care not to attribute the negativities to divine will that are actually caused by humans. Human beings have free will. Without it, there could be no growth, only the following of rules. For the soul, life is something like a multidimensional art class. This is all repeating what I was just saying. I love it so much, and it's so beautiful. Okay. It is allowed to create with absolute freedom, with the understanding that it will be responsible for its actions, for its creations. Oh, I said actions, but they're one and the same, both fiery energy. It is allowed to create with absolute freedom, with the understanding that it will be responsible for its creations. That's like the gist of this whole thing. I'm going to actually underline that. Okay. That opens the path for truly beautiful and blessed offerings to the collective. It also opens the path to expressions of free will that create suffering. Whether our choices create liberation or enslavement to pain is the responsibility of human beings. This body has been given to us so that we may learn and grow spiritually. We are all in that process, varying in our capacities and awareness, but ultimately progressing together. If some members of our human family are in such pain, they can only create further pain. That is their choice. As a group, we work to heal the causes of that pain to free them, and the rest of us, from such a tragic use of free will. When rare and precious members of our human family develop such luminous awareness that, exuding light, they call us into greater peace and happiness, then those of us who are able to receive and share what they offer do so for the benefit of all. From a deeply pained place of confusion, some souls cry out in anger toward the divine, wondering why there is disease and suffering and cruelty on this planet. We need to understand the difference between taking an ego-created situation and working with it so that it can become divine, and believing the ego-created situation was divine to begin with. There we go. Like, a little bit of ego can be what is necessary to get that fire going, to get you into listening to the messages and acting on them and creating. But it is not the heart itself. It can be a catalyst. Spirit does not wish you or any creature to become sick or to suffer. In its infinite resourcefulness and love, with full respect for your free will, which enables you to grow according to your own pace and purpose, Spirit will provide path after path of healing resolution. It is up to us when, or if, we answer the call. This oracle has emerged in your reading because you have the capacity to become a light bearer. Safeguard your energy, yet trust that the light within is strong enough to see you through any struggle, and eventually transform it into a precious pearl of sacred empowerment. You have wisdom in your divinely alchemical heart. You shall rise with dignity. And then it lists the healing process. We're going to do this together to close out this reading. Place one hand on your heart. Feel your connection with yourself in this present moment. When you are ready, say the following aloud. I assume full responsibility for myself and my life path. I call upon the enlightened heart of the universe to assist me to manifest my divine potential through grace, mercy, and love for the greatest spiritual benefit of all beings. Sense the wisdom and the power of your heart. It has the ability to guide you from within and to receive infinite wisdom and healing energies from the universe. Sense that although you walk your own path, you're not alone. Finish the process by again connecting your hand to your heart and feeling what it would be like for you to only make choices that resonated with your heart. You have completed your healing process. That was beautiful. That was fun. I am so excited for this year. So excited to continue clearing out these energies and welcoming in space to create my own path. I would love to hear what this looks like for you, what you resonated it with, what you didn't, what you're excited about, what you're not. And I'll see you next time. So much love.